was the third place.
That was the Pudge. Was that the Pudge and the Chen reference?
Was it?
Was it not TI2?
No, Found Hooking was TI3. That was the first TI I ever saw.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. That was pretty crazy. I started playing like halfway through that year. I never heard of Dota. I was told that I could get free TF2 items. Shout out to all you Team Fortress players. Yeah, I see you out there. And my friend's like, yo, just come play Dota with us. You can get more TF2 items this way. Like, oh, that's actually a great idea. Started playing Dota. I remember the first time I ever played it, my brother yelled from his room and said, come play for me. I have to go. And I was playing Puck on the off lane, and I killed a guy, and I was just like, this game's awesome. Oh,
did he leave right after? Because that was happening back in the days. Like, you kill someone to just straight out leave the game.
Yeah, but the problem was that inspired me to play Puck, which I believe still holds a 30% win rate on my Dota. because I never became a Puck player.
Only a couple times.
No, I played it like way too many times, and I had no idea how to play Dota. But then came TI3, and that was, of course, so inspirational, and you're just like, wow, this community is absolutely ridiculous.
Was that the first time there was crowdfunding?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sounds about right.
Sounds about right. People weren't really into all the cosmetics yet at that point. Maybe Valve hadn't unlocked their full potential of realizing.
We were going really deep here.
Yeah, but this is a big thing because as the years go by, we have a prize pool of near $35 million. We started at thinking a $1 million for the winning team, never gonna happen. That was just 9 years ago.
Start off with TI1 having some basically basement broadcast happening there, and now we're full panels, $35 million. We got 2 different panels. That's true. We've got an analyst on standby, just ready to go at any point. If we want to point to him, maybe we'll get to you later.
We will, because my plan was to go through all the finals. Hey, Kyle. And we all have our own memories of different finals or different TIs. We were going to go past TI4, which was very long, that TI, and we're going to go to TI5.
Wow, you're just really skipping over TI4 just like the rest of Dota 2 historians? That is
that finals.
Yeah, we don't talk about
the 45-minute grand finals. Woo!
TI4 was the first TI in Key Arena. And I think that was a phenomenal experience. The panel was sitting inside the crowd. I think we really, we scaled it up from Ben Royal Hall, which is an amazing location, to Arena.
It was intimate. Then you got
Ben Royal Hall was intimate, and then you got an Arena, which was massive. It was very exciting. Apart from the finals. TI5 was very exciting as well, but we're of course having Kyle sitting in a corner because of his experience with TI6.
Hi, Kyle. We're real excited to break down these late TIs. We're going to get into the past.
Kyle, where were you in TI6?
We're going to get into that. We're not really quite there yet.
We're really going.
I want to bring this up. So key point, TI6. This is the wild card loser bracket round 2. You don't win this game, you're eliminated from TI.
So we got to assume, Kyle.
So
okay, go for it first.
Well, first, you notice what's not banned here. The Abed Meepo. He had lost 1 game in his entire career on Meepo up until this point. So we're going to watch the draft. Unbelievable execration take the Meepo. We've got to keep this in mind for this series, right? Because if you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it. As we can see, this clip, wow, this is a really long clip. Yeah, Meepo wins. We're going to just... everyone knows what happened here. Abed, execration, they move on. They competed at the main event of TI6. Did quite well. And yeah, that's the end of that one. Now, back even further, TI5. Check this out. We're going to pause in just a second. The Storm Spirit, you notice what's missing from his inventory. That's right. He drops the Yules to Soul Ring. However...
Who does?
Swindlemelons, one of the best mid players at TI5, the only person to win a lane against Sumail, according to the legend himself. As you can see, he gets 100-0 locked down, goes down. Rubik, hero of the tournament, kills both the hero and the, apparently we have it in slow motion.
This is better.
If you really wanted to see it, as his dreams, like his Yules, are shattered on the ground as the trees.
Aren't you happy there weren't sprays
share
back
his
then?
anguish. I am very happy there weren't.
Can you imagine the tipping that would have
really quick finger there by Earthshaker.
Going even further back, right? 27 years ago, my parents made a big mistake. But look at me now. I'm at the TI finals, and I'm just so psyched to be here. Throw it back to you, Sheets.
You're too harsh on yourself, Kyle. I do also want to point out, there might be a lot of people watching that have not got a single clue what's going on right now. Swindlemelons, the person that he's talking about, is actually Kyle. And yeah, he has made some mistakes in TI history that he just, you know, he wanted to reflect. This is very cathartic for him, I bet. I hope it is, because otherwise I'm not sure.
I was about to say, I love Kyle
emotions.
because whoever came up with that that whole idea of a segment, I don't know if it was yourself, Kyle. Did you come up with that or somebody else?
I was inspired, and they made me do it after. I mean,
well, I love you
I
for
think
going
a lot
for
of
it.
people were inspired, but to not drop items on the
Exactly.
ground anymore after
Everybody
that.
was doing it before Kyle did
And
it, you know?
everybody started banning out Abed or keeping at least Abed's Meepo in mind in all the games to come as well.
You're a part of history, Kyle.
Very, very much so.
hey, if you make fun of yourself, you don't hurt anybody's feelings, right?
True.
Only your own.
All right.
Cut the
Back
camera.
to your
Cut
corner.
the camera. Cut the camera.
Thank you.
That wasn't a loser's interview. This is not the time for tears.
Hey, we're going to continue on because that was, of course, TI6 for Kyle in a nutshell. We're going to move to TI7 because TI7 was the first time a team that started out in the upper bracket, went to the loser bracket, and then made a run all the way to the finals and won it. It was a clean 3-0 sweep for the first time in TI history. A team won without dropping a single game in the grand finals, and that team is Team Liquid.
Their
Almost the same.
miraculous run at TI7, they might repeat it here with even... They dropped at the lower bracket round 2 at TI7, and now they were in lower bracket round 1. So if they win this one, they're going to do even better. I love these kind of stories. And you know, I also love memes as well. So this is... it's kicking in. They also have OG in the grand finals here.
I mean, Lucas, you got a time to actually be able to play against Kuro back in like his heyday, right? Like, what was that like? What did you view Kuro as a player back then?
Well, he was. I mean, I know Kuro since Dota 1 days.
Yeah.
I mean, we played. We didn't ever played on a team, but you know, against each other. And he was always a cool guy. Always comes, talks to you about a lot of different stuff. His ideas about Dota were always kind of different than the other people. I guess that's why him and Poppy are the only ones who attended all 9 TIs, because he had different ideas and he's sticking with them. He's not giving up on his opinion.
Yeah, and his dream and his goal to be the first person to take 2. Right? He's very, very close, but so is OG, because after TI7, it was supposed to be a Chinese year, and it turned out not to be. We saw LGD go up against OG, and that was an exciting 5-game series that OG ended up winning despite having like the roughest time before TI anybody has ever had.
Yeah, that's a true comeback story, I
Yes.
guess, right? Like the ultimate underdogs, basically as if Infamous were to win this TI. Thank you, Liquid Dota Power Rankings. That's what it was. I mean, you weren't stupid to have them that low. It was a fair assumption based off of what had happened to that team. They were completely dismantled, had to be put back together. They grabbed Seb, who, as much as we all love, and of course was a high MMR player, people were still just like, can he really hang?
Yeah.
The TI crowd. I mean, that was definitely the attitude towards it. And he has clearly proven that he has the capability to do that again.
Yeah.
Has he really proved it? Only...
Yeah. I mean, has he? I don't know.
I mean, has he? Come on.
I think he did.
All or nothing,
Shutting
right?
up all the haters out there.
Yeah, because there were, even after they won that TI International 2018, there were still a lot of haters, Cap. There were a lot of people that said, you know what? They
It was
got
an
lucky.
F word.
The
Yes,
fluke
the
TI.
The
fluke.
fluke word,
Yeah.
The fluke TI.
lucky.
Yeah. People would equate them to Digital Chaos and their run. It was like, oh, great, you figured something out. It worked really well for you, but you'll never see that position again. And somehow, some way, OG, despite even having like not the greatest year throughout the DBC, they were not a front runner or anywhere really close to it. There was probably a long list of teams you would, at least 5, they would put in front of them, right?
Yeah.
And they still managed to be the most dominant team upon entering TI. Just destroys the group stage. People are like, oh, well, they're going to get figured out like at some point in time because you've shown all your cards, but they just continue to run through the upper bracket and are now waiting for Team Liquid.
It is almost an unbelievable story, right? And then against them is Team Liquid, who, well, also had a very rough year, actually. They missed out on the first minor or major. They couldn't qualify, and I think they dropped out of the minor after dropping to the lower bracket because they didn't, I don't know, they just decided to skip out on that one. And then you see them in the group stage, and they look kind of lost.
They're one of the teams that I personally kind of expected to be in the lower part of the bracket, based on their performance throughout the year, especially the end of the season. And here they are. But by playing each single game, they become much stronger. You can see the like kind of mini meta developing inside their team and getting a huge boost in the confidence after each single win.
I imagine the last major must have helped too, right? The fact that you have this opportunity to prove yourself, they were kind of looking at it as practice, I would guess, right? Okay, we're a new team, let's see how we gel together, and then you wind up going right to the finals of the major. Like, it doesn't get a whole lot better than that.
You get to figure out whether or not Wind Ranger is a viable hero.
Yeah, they figured it out.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think what's really interesting about these two teams matched up in the finals as well is there's another story about like how OG on their way to a TI run, right, got shattered by players leaving them. And for this TI, Liquid actually have the opposite situation where they, as a team, and mostly Kuro as a captain, had to choose to kick someone. And, you know, the interview was really interesting from Kuro talking about that and saying, you know, it wasn't necessarily about Matama Man. He was basically the victim in this situation where we needed to be able to revitalize the team. And it says a lot about motivation. I think what's so cool about the International is, and Dota 2 in general as an esport, is its history. And the fact that we have come so far without being able to crown a TI winner twice, that's finally going to be broken.
Yes.
And so much of that comes down to motivation and being able to maintain that will to push through all of these tough competitors to be the best.
And to adapt, because Dota changes. That's why we love it.
Yeah.
That's why it's been around
Yep.
forever. And it's crazy that you could have the same roster that won a TI, and then you could be going towards TI and be like, oh, this won't work. I mean, how can we possibly win TI with this guy? It's amazing that you have to try and adapt yourself to those changes and really make that hard decision of just like, you know, someone's got to go.
Someone's got, yeah, and it worked, you know? It's got them to the finals.
See.
Well, I think already getting to the finals is a great achievement regardless. We are going to have a two-time champion, guaranteed. There are going to be 9 TI champions playing on the stage, 10 people on the stage that have played in TI final before, because you mentioned the Digital Chaos run, Cap. That one had a Weehai in it, so he has got experience with the amount of pressure. We talk a lot about the TI pressure, and I think everybody has seen true sides from both Liquid and OG in their respective finals runs. There is one overarching story there that goes for both. They were all fairly comfortable and just like focus on the Dota. Don't think about winning. Don't think about anything else. Just relax and have fun with it.
And these are all experienced players that played at multiple LAN events. I remember like my first LAN event where your hands are actually shaking. You're doing a lot of mistakes. After you play a couple of those, you don't really care whether you're playing inside the arena because you used to be playing only at home. And after that, I mean, it's just your mental strength that is growing after that.
Yeah, it has been a crazy road to the finals for these teams in a mental way, also in a Dota way though, and we do have a recap for you on how these teams got to the finals.
Everyone thinks they know what it takes to become a champion, but so few actually face the hurdles that litter the road to victory. To claim the Aegis takes everything you can muster, more than you even knew you had.
Thompson waiting under the tower, he's just tanking through all of it, a triple kill for Thompson, and now the jump in from 3 men in the corner, toss them down, this may just be it with none of them.
You need the courage to fight, the will to overcome adversity, the confidence to outlast doubt.
He'll keep himself safe, he has to kill Miracle! Miracle! He has no buyback, dead for 2 minutes!
But Setsu's isolated!
And RNG have lost everything!
We go, concoction again, back up together, finish it in style, this game's over!
You need to stand tall against your enemies and embrace the strengths of your friends. You will be tested.
He can jump in if he wants to, thinking about it. Fisher to open up, GH the Echo Slam. Is it quite gonna be enough? They have the Ravage to try and turn it. Weeha so freaking low as they all are getting torn apart. Isha.
You will be battered and bent, but never broken. You will follow in the footsteps of legends and trust that someday others will follow in yours.
Activate Soul Catcher on him, press the attack though, helping him out, Earth Splitter. Oh, but they caught the duel. They caught Ahmed, he's dead for 2 minutes. The volley's coming in, but it's not good enough. OG are going to the grand finals for the second.
You will understand the magnitude of each moment without losing sight of the prize ahead. Because you know this is your time. This is your fight. It's all on the line.
All on the line for Team Liquid and OG. This is a battle that for me goes back to 2015. That's when these two squads, different iterations, were formed, and they were kind of formed around the same time. It's when the original Secret fell apart. It's when that was the biggest shuffle that I think we witnessed in Dota 2 history to date. Kind of scared for the ones
for it.
What were their original squad names? Monkey Business and Jungs?
5 Jungs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Damn.
And that first major that came around when those two teams were formed, it was the Boston major at that point. OG ended up winning that, and this European qualifier, it wasn't really European qualifier, it was Europe and CIS together. Yes. And it had Secret, Virtus Pro, it was a different Secret then of course, Virtus Pro, Liquid, at Fnatic, and OG. Yeah. These 5, and only 3 or 2 would make it through, I think 3 at that point. It was so crazy. I remember everybody being so just baffled by the fact that Liquid didn't make it to that major, and neither did Secret actually.
I mean, considering how good AdFM was playing back in the days and their magical run as well, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, there were some magical runs in there. A lot of emotions that we've seen from OG over the years, and actually over the last couple of days as well. We saw No-Tail in a winner's interview yesterday, and we just want you to see that again in case you missed it.
Before this tournament, things were a bit dark. My dog had died, and yeah, it was really rough for a couple of weeks. My self-esteem was pretty low, and now we're here. Sebastian, I mean, honestly, I dedicate this tournament to him. Oh, fuck, this is so crazy.
You're making me cry. Stop it.
No, but really, thank you, Sebastian, and of course, everyone else. Just feeling so fucking lucky, feeling so fucking good. Yeah. Fucking adrenaline, I'm shaking.
What a roller coaster of emotion in just 20 seconds. Not even 20, 10 seconds. Right? You start up being sad.
All the way down.
I mean, it is crazy. Reaching the TI Grand Finals 2 years in a row. What are the odds of that? Is there any odds for that? I don't think so, Trent.
Nahaz? Any odds?
No stats for Nahaz for that
You
one.
know it's serious when Alan's speechless.
I mean, that is unheard of. We have, of course, seen Navi's squad being in finals back-to-back, but never the same squad. Never the same 5 players. So this is already a phenomenal achievement. And then also facing a team with 4 other TI Grand Finalist champions.
It goes to show that OG really is something special, right? The fact that Liquid had to kick somebody to be able to revitalize the entire team, to be able to add something else to the squad, and OG was just able to do it through sheer willpower and momentum, I guess. And in a lot of ways, you saw No-Tail saying that, like, it was a really dark moment before this tournament, and he turned to his teammates and his friends, and apparently in particular Seb. And they were all there to support him and have brought him along in this journey all the way to Grand Finals.
And he said he can't even imagine playing Dota with anyone else now, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if I can really picture anyone else on OG.
No.
I mean, even though they were together that long, when I'm watching them play through the year, and then you have like Anna leaving for a bit, and you have these stand-ins coming in, you're just like, you're not OG.
Yeah, you're not part of our family. We need
right
Anna back. I mean, sometimes you have this connection with a certain player that not just playing Dota, it's like you have this friend that you travel with to every single event. I mean, I've said it yesterday, they're basically your family.
Yes.
So it's not just a team, it's Dota that brings people together.
Like No Till and Fly used to be.
Well, this turned dark real quickly.
I mean, this is the roller coaster of emotions. This
It is a roller coaster of emotions.
In a lot of ways, though, that I don't think No Tail and Fly ever experienced these kind of deep emotions, right? They went through a lot together, but they were always like a relatively, okay squad, but didn't really experience the highest of highs nor the lowest of lows. Maybe in the Heroes of New Earth days, right?
Yeah.
But in the age of Dota 2, where they're deeper into adulthood and stuff, like it's really that combination of No Tail and Seb who went through the most incredible experiences, and those kind of trials, both like being able to get those successes, but also the trials, the awfulness.
Yeah.
It really binds you together with somebody.
It really does. I think the international really binds to us all. It's an international tournament that has been around for 9 years already, and a 10th hopefully next year as well. And with that in mind, special announcement for you.
Dandy, he goes for the dream call, he gets up. Navi have just won $1 million.
Patience from Zoe. Navi's about to be caught. Oh, this could be a total disaster. Vacuum in. Ravage on everyone. Alliance are doing it. The Kings of the North. Alliance wins. The Chrono's on 2. 3 dead for Vici.
EPD, here comes the Ice Blast, ready for the turn. Into the
He runs for wings. No take it down. Wings.
Liquid have done it.
Is it on Mercedes?
The International is a celebration of the enormous power of professional Dota and of the community that has taken part in the journey from the very first International to the one we're all watching today. Next year, Stockholm is excited to host this global celebration by welcoming the 10th International Dota 2 Championship to our wonderful city. And Stockholm is bursting of creativity, and the passion for Dota runs deep. And we are honored to host the world in cheering on your favorite teams while paying a tribute to a decade of champions as they compete for the most prestigious trophy in all of esports.
Stockholm, Sweden, home to some of the grassroots tournaments in Dota 1, in Dota 2, home to, of course, all the dream hacks that people went to in your 9, your 12. You grow up with that, you grow up with that LAN experience, and now home to the International 2020, or TI10. Now we gotta choose.
The International is back to Europe, baby, after all these years.
You finally did it.
Yes,
you got
we
in
did.
here, show up to TI, and look where it goes next.
Is it still not on the other side of Europe for you?
Nah, it's still closer than all the other teams.
That's true.
I mean, is this confirm Europe as the strongest region?
I think,
Besides 2 teams being in the grand finals?
and 3 of them being in the top 4.
I just hope people don't start taking this as, it must be if the champions, whoever wins the H is going to be able to get the
No.
International in their region.
And a try as hard as
because it'll never come back to the U.S. if that's the case.
Come on. And it can be. I think people, though, underestimate the amount of prep that goes into, creating a tournament like this. You can't decide a year before, let's go anywhere. You got to do that like a year and a half in advance, or at least a year and a half, I think, something like that. I don't know. I don't organize tournaments. I just, talk about them lovingly, actually. And I'm going to also talk about these grand finals, because we have talked a lot about the roads these teams have taken. We haven't really talked too much about the players in those teams, and I want to do that too, because these 2 teams, as much as they have an immense history together in terms of performing against each other, they also have some intricacies in terms of players. We got on one side, in the OG side, there's Jarex, and on the other side, in the Liquid side, it's Miracle. This is, by the way, some live footage. Players getting ready to enter the pods. In case you're wondering what.
They're being searched for.
He's doing his stretches.
At first I thought no-tail. Like the first shot of him holding out both arms, I was like, is this some sort of like, you know, meditation technique or what's going on here? But obviously they're making sure that...
So they can't... Why we see all the stacks of papers is because you can't take any technology into the booth. The phones are taken away by the admins as well. You saw them still holding it because that's the only thing you can kind of still have, and the rest is gonna... It's just paper, nothing else. Obviously, fair playing field and all that.
A lot of paper.
A lot of paper. I'm expecting everybody to be carrying around stacks. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like the first time they did that didn't really work out as well. You know, that first game that OG had against PSG.LGD wasn't their strongest one.
Do they need the stacks of paper though? They're not matched up against LGD anymore. Just watched Liquid watching themselves on the TV screen. That was a very cute moment.
Get that infinite vision, like, whoa, yeah, there we go.
It's always fun to see the players like laughing a little bit beforehand. There's a lot of talk about what you do right before TI. Maybe, for example, or sorry, not FY. Rather, he like goes out and takes a smoke.
Yeah.
And I see him always like outside just before the match. He just tries to calm down. Some of the players try and make a little jokes to lighten the mood a little bit and not let everything that starts sinking in.
Yeah, no-tail like riding on the back of socks, you know, everything like that.
All right. You guys, it is time to get this International 2019 Grand Finals started in style. All the way from the lower bracket, it is Team Liquid ready to take the stage. A chance for the second ages of 4 of those players. Chance for the first for Weeha, of course, but all 5 of them experienced with the pressure coming from performing on the grand stage of the International in the Grand Finals. Their opponents, OG. The defending champions of the International 2018, now again on the grand stage of the International 2019, OG taking the stage, ready to face up against what some would say is their nemesis, Team Liquid, and they look ready. Smiles are had, cheers are had by the crowd. I cannot wait to get this match started. A best of 5 between two giants in Dota 2.
Nemesis, rivals, friends. The lines get blurry, right?
Yeah.
Dota 2 is such a tight community in many ways, and you want to be friends with some of these players. In fact, you might end up being teammates with them in the future, or maybe you were in the past. But in this moment, they're going to be the bitter rivals.
And you can see the 7 there already just amped. They look exactly like last year, right? He's in there. I can read some lips as to what he's saying. Maybe not broadcast friendly there, but he is hyping up that team, getting them ready in the booth. The drums of war are playing, and finally it is time. They've been sitting back there. They've been watching everything. The crowd is ready, as you can hear.
That cheer was for Seb.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, I know that there's a lot of people that said, you know, they're not going to cheer as loud as for a PSG.LGD, and while that might be true, these people are not silent. They are definitely cheering their hearts out. I also want to take you back to a moment when we talked to, or when Casey talked to Kuro yesterday. What did he say? What did he say?
I don't know, but I guess we'll have to find out later.
We're finding out later. I can tell you what he said.
That would be good.
That will be good. He said...
Do you do an impression or no?
No, there's no way.
I just want to make sure.
No, I think that would be disrespectful to a lot of people. No, he basically said after the group stages, and we all knew OG was crushing it, Liquid at the bottom of the barrel, and they are both people that with an unhealthy habit for which they need to go outside. This is what happened.
No Tails are ready for you in the grand final. He told us in his interview that Liquid is who he's been waiting to face.
Yeah, but basically after the group stage, Note and I met in the balcony, and so he was in the upper bracket. I was like top 16. I asked him to wait me in the finals. Like I'm gonna like try to go there all the way, and I mean I hope we can do that.
This is like a movie. Meet me in the finals.
Yeah, some history there. I really love seeing these two going head to head. And actually, overall, historically, it has been Liquid that has been victorious when facing OG. You want to take a little bit of a jab at their head to head results, Trent?
How many we talk, like a percentage?
Okay, no,
here?
I have the actual games, and they are a total of exactly 50 games.
50 games against each other. I'm gonna say Liquid 29.
I'm gonna say Liquid 32 against the 18.
Can I go prices right on this and say 33?
It's 33.
Oh, got him.
You're the worst.
So Liquid
I'm
has
the best.
Has a 33.
He saw that note before. No way.
No, you said 32.
Well, I was
I just went one up?
Good. I'm paying attention. You know?
No,
writing stuff down. Where's your book?
I have it all up here because I pay attention.
Are you saying
I memorize all of my notes. For example, did you know that GH in an interview going into this group stage, he said that
yes,
he did expect that OG was going to be a very tough opponent. They knew that going into this international. They fully expected that, and in a lot of ways, GH said that they admired OG and they want to be able to replicate some of what OG does best, just turn it, a little bit into their flavor. Maybe he was talking about hero picks and stuff, but who knew that he was actually talking about OG being able to make a run through a lower bracket at a DPC event all the way into the finals? Maybe take it.
I'm not surprised that other teams are stealing other teams' strat. We saw Team Secret playing the carry IO, and they definitely stole it from OG.
Our man said it himself, right? There's no shame in copying strats.
As long
no
as
shame
you
in
maybe
stealing
do it
or
better?
no shame in admitting.
Both, I think.
It's a big, isn't it? So there's a saying about it being the imitation is the biggest form of flattery. You know, it's like, hey, what you're doing is really good. We're gonna try to do the same because we think that's the way to play. That's a big compliment. I do think these two teams have a little bit of different styles of playing Dota, but I do think both are very active early on. I think we're gonna have some fun with these games, Cap.
Yeah, I think we are too, because 33 out of 50.
33
I mean, that's still relatively close, and there were some times where OG were a little bit shaky as a roster, where Liquid maintained like constant dominance. They were always like one of those teams that were like top 3 once they really got into form, and they just never really let that go. So here, it feels like the odds are 50-50 in many ways. I don't know how you guys feel about it.
Oh, I don't know about that.
You have a favorite here?
I think this might be. I mean, I don't want to jinx it. This looks like it could be another 3-0 or 3-1 to me.
For who?
In favor of who?
OG, you're terrifying. Have you guys been watching these games?
Yeah, but they got Alchemist.
Let me check my.
They got Alchemist twice to be able to get into the grand finals.
Oh, they don't need Alchemist.
Curl's not going to do that.
But so they don't have Alchemist. They have the IO.
But have you seen
Liquid also has the IO.
The same IO? Does it look like IO?
Maybe it's a different kind of IO, but it's just as good.
I mean, both of these teams know how to play IO, so
Yes.
they know how to counter it unless they decide to ban it out if they don't have a first pick.
We're gonna find out about
There's a lot of mind games.
all that later on. When you guys talk about performing, these teams are no stranger to being in the grand finals. Liquid and OG actually themselves were in the grand finals of the Manila Major. OG won that one, even though Liquid kind of feels that they should have. If you talk to them, also at that point, it was JerAx indeed on OG and Miracle on. Actually, it was JerAx on Liquid and Miracle on OG. Liquid has also been in the grand finals of the Shanghai Major, where Weeha was actually successful against them. Now he's with the team. Perhaps that's what they needed. But they haven't won a major. Am I correct in saying that? Or did they win the Epicenter Major last year? Just TI winners.
Yeah, all that matters.
Yeah, potato. No, all of these players have tremendous experience. Sebastian has been to 5 TIs. If you don't count talent or wild cards, and 3 of those were as a player. Or rather, this is his 5th TI. He's been talented too. This is your second. This is your second year as talent, right, Trent?
Yeah, that's true.
Does that mean you're gonna, transition into coach, into player?
No,
you're gonna do the same route.
He's making spot for me. That's good. I need him up there, or else I run into some trouble.
That's why you're saying 3-0 for OG.
Yeah.
You don't want Seb to quit.
No, Seb, keep going, buddy. You got this.
I don't think anyone made the transition from straight out talent to coach or player. Like, you need to be a player before.
Yeah.
Have you been a player before?
No. In fact, the only people foolish enough to hire me were Complexity during that TI5 run. So there you go. See how that worked out for old Kyle.
Wasn't great.
Good thing he's gone.
But are you hinting at something here, Lacoste? Would you ever consider going as a coach? Like, obviously, you see Soxcar on the stage. Soxcar used to be also a TI1, TI2. He played wildcards TI3. He's no stranger to the Dota 2 scene, especially to the early Dota 2 scene, where you were also an active player part of that.
I try to coach a little bit the Serbian/Croatian squad, Elements Pro Gaming, during the Boston Major. Well, that didn't end well, but here I am now. I don't know. Coaching is a bit hard. Someone in the interview talked about, I think it was Heen, who said, like, I can coach, but I don't know what to do. I've never done it before. So just do your own thing. I don't know. I think there's a lot of smart people in the community who can be coaches, but you don't have the chance to prove it. I'm not talking about myself. Don't worry.
Well, I was talking to Heen, and he was saying that he wished he had more time. It's like, geez, you already had quite a bit of time with TNC, but he still wants more time. It's like it never ends, right? And I think the idea of coaching is that you have to really be there. You have to be a part of that family in order to do the best possible job. Coaching is not a thing where you can just, like, show up to the LAN and be like, hey, guys, so what are we doing this time? Like, it's not even enough to be at the boot camps. I think you really need this, like, full-on team dynamic of just, like, we are together all the time, all the year, becoming a single unit if you want the full effectiveness.
The hardest part is when team is not doing well. This is when you struggle. Like, you can see the players arguing against each other. When things are going smoothly, you can kind of look like a good coach.
I could be a good weather coach.
Yeah.
It's the most difficult thing to be a bad weather coach, though. Can you take your squad out of a rut and bring it to greatness? That's kind of the only time you're really tested.
I think you would kind of have to be like the hardest worker on the team. We heard Curl actually compliment his coach, Roman, RMN. And this is a guy that I think in order to be a good coach, you just have to have a passion for Dota that doesn't exist with anybody else. You have to have been one of those people who's so passionate about the game, you tried to go and play pro, right? Because you loved it so much, you were playing it so much, and you got that good because you cared so much about the game. And Armin was one of those guys. He was a semi-pro. He was playing for Team Goomba. I casted many of a tier 3.
Yeah. All the German style.
Hey, me and you, she were casting the tier 3 games together. Team Goomba.
His name goes back in Dota 1 days as well, I know.
Yeah.
For 10 plus years, probably.
It's actually very interesting if you look into the history of all those tier 3 Dota 2 stacks, because a lot of these people that are on the stage right now play together at some point. We have Mind Control, obviously everybody knows that he came from the FPL ranked leaderboard list when he joined Liquid, but before that, he was a part of basically Unknown.
Yeah, that roster was like...
It was
like
Seb
a revolving
and Soxka.
door. Right?
Yeah, it was a revolving door. There were a lot of people on there, but 2 people that he actually spent time on a team with were Seb and Soxka. I thought that was very interesting. Also, I'm going to ask you guys a pop quiz.
Oh, yes.
Oh, boy.
You ready?
Yes.
Another one of those rotating door teams. Balkan Bears.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we got this one.
Okay.
There were 5 players in this TI, and a couple that are on stage, that were in Balkan Bears.
Okay, we got the easy one, the gimme. We got Weehaw.
Weehaw.
Miracle. Miracle. Another gimme.
We have Miracle, both on stage. Both used to be
App Store on it?
Yes, he was. I don't think you're going to guess the other 2.
Was it No Tail?
It was not No Tail.
They were here in TI.
Guess, though.
They are here in TI. They were part of the, they are part of the 16.
I remember at one point in time, Balkan Bears pulled in like a somewhat well-known name, but he was a little bit like washed up at a time.
None of these people are from Balkan, though.
No, these 2 people will not be from the Balkans.
Stop. She's got us.
All right, give us the first letter.
From which one? From the first or the second?
First one.
First one.
Just give it to us.
F. There's not that many
Is it
people.
Fada? Fada was on Balkan Bears?
No.
Are there any other Fs?
It's not FY for sure.
You sure you didn't make it?
There's really nobody else with another F. It's Fly.
Fly.
And the other one starts with a P. Highlight die. I'll spoil it for you.
Okay.
What is
Fly was
interesting
the name.
is that with those Balkan Bears, Miracle and Weehaw obviously both